What is up, y'all? It's your boy Jones, and welcome to another episode of the Jones and Podcast, brought to you by Jones and for Sports. We make sports better. And today, for me, is a very, very special podcast for me, a very special episode, because the guest that I have on today is someone that we've been cool for a little while now, and now you guys can see the face to what I've been talking about when it comes to my logos. This man and his wife are responsible for that. Got him right here. Had to bring it out here so you guys can really see it. This is what these guys did for me. So I appreciate you guys so much. We got them on there. It's been a while that we've been talking for a while to trying to get you guys on here. Next time we got to get your wife on here as well, but I know she's got a busy schedule. But thank you for coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is great.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is great being on here. I'm so happy to see your continued success over like the last year and a half or so that I think we've about that we've known each other.
Right.
If you guys don't know, he has really been popping off on social. I mean, I've really seen your account explode in the last 6 months to a year. So yeah, I'm glad to be on here. We're going to talk some sports. For those of you who don't know, I'm Jacob. I go by Pick Management. In addition to doing like social media and graphics for gambling brands, right now I've kind of been making an effort to being like a writer full time. So, right, for a number of publications right now, for the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, freetips.com, expertpicks.com. I'm even writing about poker now for Poker Wired,
Nice.
Fansided. Yeah, I'm all over the place now. And I cover everything from all the major U.S. sports to random lower league European, Finnish, Denmark soccer, whatever you name it, I cover it. And yeah, give me a follow on Twitter at Pick Management, on TikTok at Pick Management, and make sure to check out my show, the MLS Gambling Podcast, presented by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. We have a show for every MLS slate. You can find that on YouTube, TikTok, and all your favorite audio podcast players.
Absolutely. So make sure you guys go and do that. Go follow him on everywhere. If you guys haven't, you can't find him, just DM me and I'll make sure to get you guys in contact with him so you guys can keep up with what he's got going on. But like I said, I'm excited. We're going to talk some sports. Obviously, right now, the NBA Finals is going on, and the Denver Nuggets are up 3-1. Game 5 tonight, 8:30. What are your thoughts on the game, on the series, and who did you have initially? And do you think the Nuggets will close it out tonight?
Yeah, I've been on the Nuggets the whole playoffs.
Okay.
Honestly, can we swear on this show? Is that all
Yeah,
right? But
absolutely.
the
Absolute.
the
Fucking
Nuggets
movement.
have fucking killed me though in this series. My props have not been cashing for me. Michael Porter Jr. letting me down big time. And
Yeah.
one play that I was cashing on the Nuggets with all playoffs long was I play at Bovada mainly, and they have a
Mhm.
play, Denver Nuggets to score over 20 and a half points in every single quarter. In an NBA
Mm.
Finals, I cannot imagine how Jokic and the Nuggets can't score 21 points a quarter. And of course, last game, first quarter, killed it, 20 points, done.
Right.
And I went hard on that. I really thought they were going to like, keep blowing out Miami, but
Right.
yeah, they close it out tonight. Miami can't hang. This team is just too dominant. They're getting scoring from all over the place, and the Heat, their role players went cold at the wrong time, and then
Mm.
that's really killing them right now. So yeah. I mean, I got more on it, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'll let you drive this bus. So
Yeah, no, but absolutely. I'm with you. I was with Denver going throughout, not throughout the playoffs, but throughout this series. Um like you said, the other guys, the what do you call them? The unsung heroes for the Miami Heat just have not shown up in this series. Outside of Martin, Martin has been playing a lot better than he did the first few games, but Shrews and all those other guys just
Vincent, yeah,
Vincent. I mean, those guys not carried because obviously Jimmy led that whole thing, but those guys followed in Jimmy's footsteps throughout the playoffs, starting off with the Bucks, then the Knicks, then the Celtics. Nobody gave them a shot, and then they get here and they lay an egg, and it's just like that's as a fan, as a fan of basketball, as a fan of sports, when you see something as great as what Miami Heat was doing, winning all these series, and then get to the finals and play this bad is very upsetting because it throws me back to '99 Knicks. I'm a Knicks fan, clearly.
Sure.
And the last time we've seen an AC make it to the finals was the '99 Knicks. And they went on a historic run and got swept in the finals. And you just don't want to see that. You see a team play that good all the way throughout the playoffs. You want to see a good match in the finals. You're like, hey, this team just beat all those good teams there to get to the finals. Now they all of a sudden don't know how to play basketball. Like, for me as a fan, it's upsetting when you see something historic happen, but then when it gets to the championship round, they're not historic at all.
Well, I mean, I think it just shows how weak the Eastern Conference really is, and I mean, and had been all season. Mainly three-quarters of the team is undrafted right now for the Heat, and I think it shows when playing a team like the Nuggets, who are stacked with players who were top draft picks and college players and all that. You can really see Miami struggling when they're playing a good team like Denver, who is a solid defensive team, who's good on offense. Turnovers have been killing the Heat. Bam Adebayo, while he's been I think number 2 leading scorer on the team right now, he also had 8 turnovers last game. He had, of the 15 turnovers Miami had, Bam had 8 of them. And like we were just saying, Vincent and Strauss, ice cold. They went 1 for 10 on just regular 2-point shots and had 5 rebounds combined. And Miami scored 95 points or less in all 3 of their losses so far. You cannot do that in an NBA Finals. And it's just, to see the total at this for this day, like 209 or under. We had I think one or 2 games go over that, but for such a low total, I mean, it's just showing that the books and bookies have no faith in Miami to be able to continue to score here, which is why for this game, if you're looking at player props, I would stay away from Miami in this one because if Denver gets up big, like we see like a 20-point just demolishing of Miami from Denver at home, which is totally possible. Denver wants to close this thing out at home. They don't want to fuck around. They just finish it. And they've been able to. So with that, I don't see, if they're up, 20 in the fourth quarter, I just see Miami quitting. And then that's going to kill a lot of the player props. One thing Miami has been doing good at, though, that I will mention is their first quarter stats. They're actually 14-8 against the spread right now in the first quarter.
Wow.
So if you're going to take a position in this game for the Heat to maybe come out strong, that would be the only option I would take a look at. But then, because you look at the second quarter, they're getting blown out. They got lost by 8, 9, 5, 5, and 5 and 5. 8, 9, 5 and 5. Sorry, in the second quarter so far. So if you want to bet Heat first quarter, Denver second, I wouldn't be mad at you.
Right, absolutely. And guys, I'm telling you, he knows what he's talking about. So make sure you listen to that. My question to you now, sticking with the NBA Finals, is I think it's obvious that Joker's going to win MVP. Where does this put him as all-time greats? Where do you think this ranks him as an all-time great?
I've been hearing this argument a lot lately, and people just not giving Jokic the credit that I think he deserves. I think a lot of it comes down to the teams he's played with. Needing to get that championship first. You know what I mean? I think once he gets the ring and MVP, we have not seen somebody put up triple doubles like this since what Sorry, the dogs are going
Don't
crazy.
worry about it. I love the
dogs. Since like the 70s, 80s, we've seen someone go off like this.
Exactly.
And I just don't think that I think once we see that and another championship, he'll get the respect that I think he deserves. I like Jokic. I like his style of play. You see with all the assists and stuff like that, he's a team player. He's a
Mm-hmm.
good, a good dude. That's a solid human being. He's a good person. And he picks up the slack when his teammates need it. When
Yep.
they're struggling, he's the one that you can look to always get you back in the game.
For sure.
The Nuggets have they count on Michael Porter Jr. a lot, who has been pretty cold in this series.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of that has kind of let Jokic take off a little bit more since he's really taken over, and he knows how to do that. Last game he had some foul trouble, but even with the foul trouble, he still crushed it.
Yep.
And I don't think there's going to be there's no argument in this one when he's got the MVP. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to put him in rare territory if when he finishes it. I think they're going to finish it tonight just because they're home. They want to finish it at home. Obviously the nerves could set in when you can smell a championship that close. So I could see maybe them coming out flat, like you said, and Miami having a good first quarter. But after that, I think they tighten it up and then finish it. And Joker again MVP, and that I think this puts him in top 25 possibly. Maybe he has to win one more. Actually, might have to win another one. But then again, you think about two MVPs. Should have won it this year. Now that we look at what
Right.
happened with Embiid, should have won it this year, honestly. Um, and yeah, and just the run he had, not even just the finals run, the whole playoffs, he
Oh
was
yeah.
just dominating throughout. There
What do you
wasn't
have? We have
one
I
weak
think it
moment.
almost 15, 20 triple doubles throughout the whole
That's just
NBA playoffs.
nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. So what he's been able to do, and Jamal Murray for sure stepped up big. He took it personal that people forgot about him after his injury,
Yeah.
and he steps up. He didn't have a great game last game, but games before that, 1 and 2, he was just going off. So um, I expect him to have a big game tonight, and it's just going to be beautiful to see the Nuggets win their first championship. And
For
and
sure.
and shout out to the Miami Heat for getting this far. But like you said, the East is weak. The East is
You know,
weak.
and you know what it is too with the Heat? They have had a long road to get here. A lot of
Oh yeah,
the two playing games, a lot of
yeah.
travel, 7 game series. The Nuggets came into this series rested and they were
Yep.
chilling for the last 10 days before this,
No
and
question.
the Heat got taken to the brink and barely got here. So
Yeah. No, that's a great point. They had to play 2 extra games, maybe even 3, I think.
yeah.
Um, so no, that's a great point. They gave it their all, and you can't be at the end of the day, you can't be upset at your effort because no one expected you guys to be there.
And
So
and hey, who knows? It's not over yet.
and it's still not over yet. They get
They
this
stole
one.
one game. They stole one game in Denver.
They can still do it. They can
Yeah.
still do it. Absolutely. All right. So that is our talk when it comes to the NBA Finals. Now I want to get a little bit deeper into what your favorite teams, the teams that you grew up on and that you love. So sticking with the NBA, we talked about the NBA Finals. Now I want to talk about your teams. I believe you said you're not a NBA. You don't have an NBA favorite team, but you are a LeBron fan.
Yeah. So honestly,
I love
I'm a
that, by the
better
way.
before anything else. So my favorite team is the ones who win me money on a daily basis. But
I love
as a
it.
sport, honestly, and I'll tell you, I do not really watch sports live. I think
Okay.
it gives you a lot of recency bias.
Mm,
So I usually watch highlights
good
and
point.
video if I'm gonna watch a game. I also, because I bet so much, I have like the worst possible anxiety on planet Earth.
I
So
bet.
watching games live is just too much for me. I'd rather just check my bankroll at the end of the night and be like, I either won or lost.
Right.
Uh, but no, I do like I like of course I'm a Knicks fan. I like the Kings. I
Nice.
grew up on that. I'm a California kid. That's right. I was born in
Nice.
Sacramento. Actually, one of my cousins has season tickets to the Kings, so that's pretty
Wow.
cool. But
Oh,
really, I'm a
what a
LeBron and
year
a
to
Harden
go
fan.
for them.
So really, wherever they're at, I'm a fan. LeBron moving around a lot. It's cool he's with the Lakers. I think he did it just to be with the Lakers and say he played with them. That team, I
Hmm.
think, has a lot of work to do. I don't think he and AD are going to be the combo that they wanted to be, and I think that they're going to need some help, and I think they're going to get it. And then, yeah, I mean, I just like Harden for his style of play. I was the captain of my Jewish travel basketball team growing up, so
Nice.
I did ball a little bit. I
Nice.
did actually. I played a lot of basketball, but yeah, Harden style of play is how I play basketball. His step back three is my move. I stole from him. That is my crossover step back three is like my go to shot, and yeah, I got it from Harden, so that's why.
That's what's
Yeah.
up. That's what's up. So speaking about those
Hey,
two,
you are muted.
oh, I am. This is interesting. How am I muted? See what's going on? Can you hear me now?
No volume.
What is going on now? Nothing.
Yep, no, you're good now.
Okay, there we go. All right. What was I gonna say? Oh, so you mentioned the Knicks. What did you think about the Knicks this year?
I like them. They're scrappy. They're a scrappy team. They started out, kind of wishy-washy, going back and forth, had a struggle at the beginning of the year. But I think the team really starting to get it together. I like Julius Randle, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Julius Randle. I like him. I like the style of play. And I can see them making another run again this season coming up. I
Absolutely.
imagine they'll probably get some help in the off season, hopefully. And
Gonna need it.
I think they should have beat the Heat. I do. Unfortunately, they didn't get there. They should have shut that down, but that's the game of basketball. So
It sure is, man. Being a Knicks fan, it was for me. It was good. It was I was happy to be a Knicks fan this year. They really brought life to it, and it was one of the first years in a long time that I actually really believed we were good. Like there's been plenty of years where we looked good, but I didn't really believe. I'm like, come playoff time, we're not going to do shit. Like I'm not. I'm not. I'm one of those guys. One of those fans. Like I'm a big Cowboys fan. I know during the season we're gonna fucking go 13-3. Come fucking playoff time, we're gonna lose in the first round. So I'm one
yeah,
of those Cowboy fans. I know what's up, But this was one of the first years that I looked at that Knicks team and was like, you know what? We're actually fucking good. I can't
yeah.
even lie. We're actually good. We're gonna make some noise in the playoffs. Like you said, I think we should have definitely beat the Miami Heat, but it is what it is. But I think we'll make a nice run next year for sure. Sticking with the NBA, my last question on the
Sure.
NBA. I'm also a big LeBron fan. I wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on LeBron going forward? Do you think how much longer do you think he plays, and do you think he gets another ring and within that time that you think?
I think he wants to play with his son. I think he really is going to make that happen. So I think he stays until then. Maybe he gets a season or two. Honestly, you know what I think he wants to do? I think he wants to play with his son, get a ring with his son, and retire.
That would be amazing. That
Right?
would be a hell of a
Right?
story.
That's how he cements himself as number one. Is he
For
waits for
sure.
his son to go pro, puts him under the wing, and says, "Let's do
What?
this." Right?
That would be nuts.
Yeah. So
Man,
that's my dream of LeBron in the next 3 years. But yeah. So yeah.
that's awesome. All right, so switching over to what's going on right now in baseball. You are a Pirates fan. Correct.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I know the feeling. Trust me, being a Mets fan, I know the feeling. But yeah, talk to me about your Pirates. How do you think you guys are doing right now?
We started off real hot. Starting the season, I was like, no shit, the Pirates are playing. But I'm sorry, I had some notes. Here we go.
No
All right.
problem.
So, yeah. So the Pirates, they really had like a historic run for them to start off the season. But since then, they have just taken a total dive bomb. This was their best start of the season since Barry Bonds was a Pirate. If you believe it or not, that's how long
I
it's been.
oh
But
shoot.
right now, so if they continue to play how they were in the beginning of the year, that would get them to 87 wins, which would have been the most since 2015. But they are
Wow.
not. But they're right now. They are on pace to not even break like 70, I think.
Shit.
Their pitching has taken a dive bomb, poor base running, errors. I mean, they are like the bad news bears of baseball right now, and cannot get anything going. I mean, if you are going to bet against a team right now, it would be the Pirates. Their team ERA is trash. It's like right now it's like under, I think 2.5 is under your like game. So runs per game is like under 2.5. They don't have any big name pitchers. They don't have anybody as a hitter. They are just I can't say enough about how bad they are right now. I think they need a full sale, front of the house change. Spend some money to get somebody with a name. But yeah, I mean they are just screwing up across the board. I mean, when I say base running is bad, I mean they cannot steal a base. They have people doubling up on bases, just like seriously, like Babe Ruth baseball style. I don't know if that's what you guys have where you're from. It's like Little League where I'm from.
Right.
Yeah, so it's like Little League baseball they're playing right now. So unfortunately, Pirates are just not the team that they could have been, and it's going to be at least another year till they can do anything with the team.
Man, I know the feeling, man. Being a Mets fan, going through it this year, it's a little different. I mean, we have high hopes. We have a talented team. Had a rocky start, which I'm okay with.
Sure.
Me being the fan that I am, I'm perfectly fine with a rocky start. I am all about the finish. All about the finish. All those great starts are. I'm used to great starts with the Mets. I'm used to that. The past 2 or 3 seasons we started off nice and didn't finish in October. So that's what it's about for me. It's been a long time since 2016, but still we got there and haven't gotten close back.
Time out. It's been a long time for the Pirates. The Mets, if you were in the 2000s, it is not that long ago.
This is true. This is true.
I don't even know when the Pirates' last World Series was. 70s, maybe? Something like that?
Shit.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I feel a little bad saying that. But yeah, when it comes to my Mets, I just wait and see. I'm not one of those guys that 79. Shit, that's a long fucking time. God damn, that's 40 plus.
Yeah.
Shit. Well, yeah, I feel bad saying that.
It's all right. Well, hey, listen, the Mets, they are a back and forth team, but you guys do have a solid base and some good pitching, and I like the Mets a lot. I think I've actually probably gotten more Mets games than Pirates games. So yeah.
Interesting. Where are you located now?
So I live in Agawam, Massachusetts, which is like right over the border from Connecticut. But I grew up in Fairfield County in Newtown, Connecticut, which is like 90 minutes from the city.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yep.
My brother lives not too far. He's like on the border as well. I forgot what's the name of the town, but of Connecticut and Massachusetts.
Okay.
And then my dad lives in Boston.
Oh, all right. Right on.
Yeah, so nice. My next question for you now is the big one. Football.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, absolutely. That is my team.
Talk to me about it.
Yeah. When they say, I bleed black and gold, that's a real saying in my family. So my dad's whole family's from Pittsburgh. I was born into this, and I am okay with it. We have a really good outlook on the season this year. I think Kenny Pickett is the truth, and is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback for the next 15, 20 years. I really do. I liked him in college a lot in Pittsburgh. He's a Pittsburgh guy. That's a lot. That means a lot for the city. One thing Pittsburgh usually does is they don't really trade for players. They draft and build from within. And I definitely see Kenny Pickett being that kind of player who's able to develop the team around him, kind of build the team to his liking. And Mike Tomlin does the same thing, working with his players, being able to really dive in and dial into their skill sets and what works for them. I think the fact that we have a young receiving core with a young quarterback is, I think, them growing up in the league together is really going to help them mesh as a team. And then our defense is stellar, still. TJ Watt, monster. I think he's better than his brother at this point. You could see from last season the numbers he put up.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the Steelers are going to have a really good year coming up. I think we get to 9, 10 wins. We don't have the most difficult schedule in the world. It's the first year we start off at home since like
Nice.
2014, which is big. We play
Shit.
the Niners week 1 at home. So getting a win to start the season will be, I think, good for us and good for team morale and for Kenny Pickett to get a win under his belt. I don't really believe in the Niners. I just don't. And then we play in a really tough division now. The AFC North is, I think, probably the toughest division in football.
Yeah.
With the Steelers now, a Deshaun Watson-led Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Ravens are still tough.
Yep.
Steelers, Ravens, Browns. Well, I can't remember the last one.
Cincy.
Cincinnati, yeah, and
Bengals.
of course
Yeah.
Cincinnati, stellar,
Yep. Uh-huh.
offensive juggernaut. You know what I mean? It is a tough division in the AFC North this year,
For
and
sure.
yeah, I think it's going to be real competitive. And I think the Steelers, because of their defense specifically, is going to be able to control the AFC North. I don't think the Cleveland defense or Ravens defense is going to be able to hang. So I think it's going to be a fight for number 1 between Cincy and Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's going to be real interesting because Cincy, we know what Cincy represents. And then it's going to be interesting to see what uh, the Baltimore Ravens look like with Lamar back and Odell there. Obviously, we know Lamar is who he is, but going through what he went through this all season and
Right.
all that stuff could definitely play a part. I think there was definitely some things that got messy over there. And then what was the other team? The Cleveland Browns. They're still trying to pick up the pieces. Um, you know, everything they went through with Baker Mayfield, and now, I mean, obviously you got Deshaun Watson, but he still has a huge cloud over his head wherever he
Right.
goes. So, that doesn't make it any easier. But they do have a talented team. So, like you said, I agree. AFC North, definitely one of the toughest divisions in the league, no question about it. Do you believe that you guys are going, well, you actually answered my question. You said it's going to be a fight between you and Cincy.
Yeah.
So, because I was going to say, do you think this is going to be one of the years that you guys are used as a rebuild, and then next year be the year that you guys are in contention for the playoffs?
I think that was last year.
Okay.
I think developing some of the younger receivers last year with Kenny Pickett, and I think while those receivers are still developing, I think they got a lot of work in last season, and I don't think it'll be so much of a rebuild year. I think we kind of already had that. I mean, I could
Right.
be wrong. It's still early and they're still making moves, and who knows with what kind of injuries and whatnot, and what we're going to see. But um, yeah, I mean, I think the Steelers are built pretty solid right now, and I think they want to get busy.
Absolutely. My last question for you, Pittsburgh Penguins. What are your thoughts on your Pittsburgh Penguins?
So,
I'm
so
actually a Sidney Crosby fan, so
Okay, so of all sports teams, the one team that I'll actually sit down and watch a game, I guess besides the Steelers, is the Penguins. I love the Penguins. That is my team forever.
okay.
I've just my team. So I think we should have made the playoffs this year. It was really disappointing that we didn't. That's the reason why they don't have a GM right now, and they fired their whole front office. I actually have an article coming out for Fansided within the next couple of days that will be a breakdown of my top 3 choices for GM for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So keep an eye out for that. I'll have a link to that on my social. But yeah, I mean, we have
One
3.
second.
Oh, sure.
Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
We have 3 solid players in Sidney Crosby. And God, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the names, but you guys know who I'm talking about. The top 3 right now that we have. And I just think that, Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Chris Letang. Those are the 3 that the team's built around. So if they can stay healthy and continue to do what they do, I think whoever the new GM is going to be will put some younger weapons around them, and I see them back in the playoffs next year.
Absolutely. The Penguins is one of those teams that I've been watching for a long time. One of my best friends, that's his favorite team. And obviously, Sid the Kid is one of the greatest to ever do it. So I've
Yep.
definitely been following them ever since I started watching hockey. Not maybe 10 years ago, I've been watching. Started like really, I've always watched hockey since a kid, but like I really dove into it about
Sure.
10 years ago. And my favorite team is the Blackhawks. Because of Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews. Obviously, Kane is not there anymore. He's
Right.
with the Rangers, so I'm obviously staying close in touch with that. But yeah, I got to see Sid and the Kid do some things, and every year they just seem like they're in it, and they
Yeah.
just don't finish it. So I just hear it from I'm just hearing my best friends talk in my ear right now. Just because he like that's his favorite team of all teams is the
Sure.
Pittsburgh Penguins, and he just goes hard. So
And I gotta say that that of all the different playoffs and championships and whatnot, there is nothing more exciting than playoff hockey.
no question. And I haven't been to a hockey game in my whole life, but I want to. I'm
Oh, you
definitely
got
gonna
to
go
get to
next
one.
season. No
Rangers
question.
game. You're right there. Go to a Rangers or Devils game. You could probably get cheaper tickets to Devils right now, but it is worth
Yeah.
it. I mean, I go to a lot of like AHL. Like second
Right.
like AAA hockey.
Exactly.
I could sit on the glass for like $15, and you can still see a lot of the
That's
pros
fine.
because of the farm system. So when someone just like
Right.
AAA baseball, so you can still see some pretty good players, even in like minor league hockey. So.
Absolutely. Well, Jacob, thank you. That is all the questions that I have for you today. But before we go, please let them know again, where can they find you and what you got working right now?
Sure. Yeah, it's been great being on here, and you can find me on Twitter, TikTok at Pick Management. Check out the MLS Gambling Podcast by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, out at least once a week. That's on YouTube at the MLS Gambling Podcast and on Twitter at MLS SGPN. You can also find picks, previews, predictions, all that kind of stuff on a whole bunch of different publications. Fansided, SGPN, freetips.com, PokerWired. Trying to be a sports writer for real now. So, keep an eye out. I'm trying to do some big things.
Absolutely. Again, Jacob, thank you again for jumping on with your boy.
Appreciate it.
We got to do it again. Once the season comes, football season gets here. We get a little bit more into baseball, see if your team gets a little bit better, hopefully. And and definitely do it again. And we got to get your wife on here because I want to personally thank her again for all the work that you both have done for me and Jones for Sports.
Absolutely. Yeah. Next up, she's 5 feet away from me, so she heard you, and she said next time she'll peek in.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Jacob from
have a good one.
Management. Appreciate you. Take care.